The next MC Championship event was just announced yesterday and it's set to premiere later this month, so you won't want to miss when it is, how you can watch it, and what to expect. As we discuss everything we know so far about MCC 31, we'll also predict when the teams will be announced. Before we spill the facts, a reminder that only a small percentage of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you don't want to miss exciting date announcement videos like this one, then feel free to hit that red button. Plus turn on post notifications so you stay up to date with all the MCC news from me. So at 5 minutes past 4 PM BST on Wednesday the 3rd of May, the official MC Championship Twitter account posted with this. May we have an MCC this month? Why, of course you can. MCC 31 hits the Decision Dome and your screen Saturday 20th May at 8 PM BST. As usual, the official MC Championship Discord server had its own similar announcement exactly 1 minute after the Twitter date reveal, which said MCC 31 springs into action. Join us for the May Day Mayhem 20th May at 8 PM BST. That wasn't the only MCC related update we got that day. We were also treated with some highly anticipated info on the MCC Island public server regarding its open beta release. Now, although I don't usually cover MCCI content on this channel, since this is massive news for the Minecraft community in general, let alone MCC viewers, I have a short segment discussing it at the end of this video. Remember, timestamps are in the description as always. Returning to the actual date itself, which is what you're here for, it will commence at 8 PM UK time as always, but just as with MCC Scuffed and then with MCC 30 just last weekend, used the British Summertime BST time zone rather than the other UK time zone, which is Greenwich Mean Time GMT, which is inactive until October. So we don't have to worry about that for the next 6 events. Essentially, whatever time you sat down to watch the previous 2 MCCs at, do that again. Unless you were late. Don't be late. It's the highlight of the month. It makes sense that both announcement platforms list the start time in BST, as the Noxcrew, the team behind MCC, are based in the UK after all. With all that said, if you still don't know when MCC 31 is going to commence, make sure to use a reliable time zone converter to find out when it begins in your local area. I've linked a good website for that in the description. Let's throw up the date announcement tweet on screen again. After excusing the goofy pun, you'll notice that they've done the same thing they did for the MCC 30 date announcement. They've included the MCC 31 event poster. I guess you could call it that. Basically that big image with the red background, the MCC logo, and the yellow diamond displaying the event number. Did you notice the same diamond in this video's thumbnail before you clicked on it? Let's jump back to the Discord announcement because there's something unique there too. They are using the Discord events feature, which allows you to display interest in something and then that server will notify you when it starts. It's been used before for all previous season 3 events, so it looks to be a permanent and helpful feature. So if you think you're somehow gonna forget about May 20th, make sure you're in the MCC Discord server to join the event. More info on how to join the server at the end of this video. Now let's think about the timing of MCC 31 in the grand scheme of things. This will be the 3rd canon event of 2023 and of season 3 as a whole, but it has the shortest wait time between canon events for some time now. MCC 31 will be just 3 weeks after MCC 30, which was on April the 29th. You see, normally most canon events are spaced 4 weeks apart. Sometimes, as we saw in season 2, the gap will be 3 weeks, but this is made up for in a later event with a 5-week gap later down the line. We haven't seen any 5-week gaps so far this year, which could mean that the MCC Pride 23 non-canon event, which isn't canon but it's the only June event, is on June 24th. But we'll cross that bridge when we approach it early next month. For now, let's discuss everything else we know so far about MCC 31. Let's get started by looking ahead to this month's teams. The next big announcement for MCC 31. Whenever teams are announced, the first 5 will drop on one day from 4:30 PM BST and the remaining 5 will drop the next day starting from the same time. And there's a 15-minute gap between each team's announcement. At the start of each day, we'll have the pointless poll on Twitter at 4:15 PM BST, which literally just asks you to vote for which of that day's 5 teams you're most looking forward to before they're even announced. It's a wonderful concept. But there was no mention of when exactly the MCC 31 teams would drop from either announcement platform. As of uploading this video, which is out the day after the date announcement, we've obviously, unsurprisingly, heard nothing more about this. It's definitely not this week, as although MCC 30's teams were announced 2 weeks before that event, there was an extra week of waiting after MCC Scuffed, so that's why they were announced sooner. So it 100% will be next week, so the week commencing Monday the 8th of May. That's still 7 days to narrow down to just 2, but since all season 3 teams have been announced on a Thursday and Friday, expect your MCC 31 teams to arrive next week on Thursday the 11th and Friday the 12th of May, just under 1.5 weeks before the event, which is quite tight, but this was what happened with MCC 29, just as one example, so this is almost certainly true. Again, there's the tiniest chance that they announce teams on a different pair of days instead, such as Monday the 8th and Tuesday the 9th, but that hasn't happened since the Pride 22 of non-canon event, which was 11 months ago now, but you never know, of course. This is a perfect conversation we can have in the comments. Let us know when you think we'll get the teams, and maybe start making some bold predictions for possible duos as well. Previous events that have taken place in May haven't had anything special to them, which makes sense as there's no seasonal holidays at this time of year compared to the end of the year with Halloween and winter, for example. So although MCC 14 on May 29th, 2021 was the first event of season 2, and MCC 22 on May 28th, 2022 introduced Meltdown as a new game to the Decision Dome, I don't think we are getting much in terms of new games. Definitely at least a couple new maps, as MCC 30 was a bit lacking in that department. Also, we just had the MCC 30 Hole in the Wall Eating remix, and we've never had remixes in back-to-back events, so we probably aren't getting another one this time round. Now let's run through those regular MCC players who will supposedly be absent for for this event. Now I say supposedly because you have to take this with a pinch of salt, as it's often the case that some players are joking and they did actually sign up. Most of the time the people who say they haven't are telling the truth, but you'll sometimes get trolls who like to throw the community off with team predictions. We have an alarmingly large list of maybe absent people, starting with a very interesting one in Shubble, who will be missing her first ever canon MCC this year. Yep, she started at the very beginning and she stayed all the way till now. While this impressive streak is now sadly shattered with her trip to Japan, it's only a one-time thing. Then we've got recent MCC 30 winner Martin in the Littlewood. There is a Twitch clip from one of his recent streams where he said he isn't in this one, which got huge attraction from the MCC subreddit, which actually caused Martin to find this Reddit post later that same stream, which was just so funny to watch. Similarly, Gemini Tay on their Twitch stream is erring on the side of caution with their potential plans, so almost certainly didn't sign up. I'll have links to Reddit posts with proof of these clips in the description, so you can see those for yourself if you somehow don't believe MCC newsman Mega Ultra Fade. I'm sure there's a couple other out players here and there. I've heard about the Orion Sound and Solidarity not in. Wilbur is still on his Lovejoy band tour in case you forgot about him, and Smallish Beans might be on another holiday again. If you recall, he missed MCC 30 for the same reason, but that's most of the people supposedly not participating this time. Yes, I promised to talk about the massive MCCI development. It was a joint announcement between the MCC Discord, MCC Island Twitter, and MCC Island forums. Since the Discord summarized the reveal in the most concise way, let's chuck that up on screen. As teased by Noxcrew in the MCC 30 update video last week, open beta is just around the corner, meaning we no longer need those randomized invite tickets to join, and it will be open to the public for all to enjoy. The server temporarily closes for about a week from Tuesday 16th May to prepare for this, then reopens for a tiny bit longer in closed beta, then jumping into open beta at an undisclosed date, so we don't know that just yet. Don't worry, I've linked the forums page in the description as it goes into a bit more detail and gives us this interesting snapshot of Parkour Warrior, which we already knew would be the next game, with casual solo and competitive race modes. Once you've read all that and you still have questions, join the Discord server for another MCCI developer Q&A. That's on Friday 5th of May from 4 PM BST. Finally, just today, as of uploading this video, so a day later, another announcement confirmed that closed beta signups would end today, so sign up with your email now, as after today, everyone still waiting for an admission ticket will automatically get whitelisted. Otherwise, you have to wait for open beta or buy a rank or bundle, which are on sale for 20% off for a limited time on the MCCI store. Everything's in the description, so don't panic. Before we end, I just want to remind you that if you love talking about MCC just as much as I do, you can join lots of free official social media platforms to do just that. To talk about our beloved Minecraft tournament, its public server MCC Island. Check the links in the description to join the official Discord server, subreddit page, and Island forum. To discuss with other members of this amazing community and post memes or statistics, there's lots you can do. That's also where you're going to find the aforementioned Discord events feature and the news on MCC Island. Exciting stuff all around. Now there's probably a couple other things we've been given about what to expect from MCC 31, but I've talked through the most important ones here. Good job to Noxcrew for developing another great event, and to Scott's Major for organizing the teams, which should be dropping later next week as mentioned earlier. Well, I've been your host, and I'll catch you all next time for the top fails from MCC 30. See ya, Minecraft champions!